Path of Exile. It's basically Diablo if the development team actually played the game they were working on. With a decade of content, completely free to play. I actually smile saying that. Not very often I get to say completely free and be sincere saying it. Suck on that, Honesty Destiny 2. Welcome to the worst review, where I play an MMO as a fresh character from the beginning, and bumble my way through bad decision after bad decision to see how it stacks up to the rest. I'm Dying Legacy, and this is a review voted by the community themselves. This is Path of Exile. Let's keep this brief. Path of Exile is a free-to-play action RPG, technically not an MMORPG, but it is a persistent online RPG, so that's close enough for me to give it a go. Just like any review I do, I shall plunge into the depths of my imagination to create a character in my image, and yeah, that's right, there is no character creation. I'll just choose the short guy then, who is called the Shadow. I assume he's your typical rogue, it's the closest to me as I can get. I do however get to choose a name at least. Perfect. Once we hit start, we awake on a beach after a hard night of Baldur's Gate with the boys and have a quick chat with one of the locals. He explains the place is dangerous, but we don't glean much information from the young chap as his date for the night leans in for a quick smooch. We end the public display of affection quickly and pick up a glowing green gem. A quick tutorial later and we learn the skill system is not your run-of-the-mill learn and equip skill system. Instead, you acquire gems and equip them to your armor and weapons. Your equipment needs sockets of matching colours. Right out the gate, I can assume I can use any skill I want. Oh, what possibilities await me. Equipped with a weapon and a skill, I murder my way along the beach indiscriminately, and I quickly level up. I get informed I can allocate a skill point, which sounds perfect until I open the skill menu and I suddenly get heart palpitations. Luckily, I have only one space unlocked to drop my point into, so I do that and close the window. Out of sight, out of mind, as they say. We can deal with the quantum science later. I return back to beach murder, and it only takes me a few moments to run into the boss of the beach. Nope, it's not David Hasselhoff, it's in fact his lesser evil twin, Hillock. Understandably, Hillock puts up more of a fight than the other lifeguards, but goes down all the same. I grab all his loots, as you do, and enter a door to town. Social activity! I have social anxiety, so let's ignore the crowd and talk to the NPCs. I meet with Nessa, Estelle and Tarkley, who are all fully voice acted, which is very nice as I struggle with my attention span to follow dialogue unless it's spoken. They offer me some quests as well as acting as traders, so I peruse their goods before heading on another killing spree. They offer a pretty varied array of gear and gems, so I take my time to figure out what's best for me. It seems I have almost free reign in how I want my chosen shadow class to play, so for the time being I'll stick with chaos skills and daggers. So I pick up the Blight skill. Chaos Rogue sounds cool, though I am fully aware my skill tree probably plays heavily into this, so I will need to actually look over that properly at some stage. But that can wait until I've explored a bit more.
The furnace down at the slaughterhouse. Yes, that's what...
When I leave the town, I realise that my character is actually voiced, and his voice is smooth. With my smooth vocal tones and newfound kink for chaos, I continue to murder my way along this new beach. Beaches for days, apparently. My murder spree comes to a halt as I meet a new elite enemy, referred to simply as Fire Fury, and his fire-eating cannibal friends. I meet a quick end to his rain of fire and I die. There doesn't appear to be any consequences. However, a quick Google search later, and I am informed that there is no consequences through Act 1 and 5. From Act 6 through 10, you will lose experience points for every misstep. Maybe I should get the missteps out of the way here first. When you die, you have a choice to resurrect in town or at the nearest checkpoint. In my case, the checkpoint might as well be in town, as I revive at the entrance point to this area. Doesn't really feel like a consequence, as I get to murder my way back. Enemies haven't respawned, so it's quicker to get back on task, and with a moment's reprieve as I scuttle my way back, I finally notice how beautiful the graphics are. Path of Exile released in 2013, a full decade ago, and the graphical style holds up really well. My thought process is interrupted by a giant slab of rock called a Crucible Forge that offers to upgrade my weapons. I am aware, however, that this rock is a part of this season's League's mechanics, so it won't be here when the next League releases, but for now let's give it a go, because I can't say no to an upgrade. So I follow the prompts on screen. Unfortunately, the prompts on screen were kind and didn't call me a fucking idiot, because I hadn't realised I opted in for the self-destruction package, and died quicker than I could shit myself. I'm not a quitter, so I return to my gravesite to get some quick revenge and get slapped by deja vu. Again and again. At this point I realise I brought this upon myself by accepting the lethal difficulty. Between deaths, I wear down the enemy and upgrade my weapon. And I am not sure if it was worth it. So I get back on track to finding a medical chest that the town needs. I eventually find the medicine chest on an elite enemy and discover I can't carry it. I also discover the inventory system is the old Resident Evil style of Tetris. Items don't have weight, they have sizes, so I need to jiggle my bag around to get the medicine chest to fit. I enjoy this far more than is necessary. I look forward to doing it again. This may be a sign of mental instability on my part that I am going to calmly gloss over. I use a nearby waypoint to get back to town and I'm offered a reward for my item searching bravery, a bigger health flask and a choice of gems. While trying to select a gem, I discovered that support gems exists. That increase the proficiency and strength of the skill gems, but they need a connection between 2 slots on my weapons or armour. So now I need to be more vigilant at the gear and items I'm picking up. This is supposed to be a drag. I should feel burdened by how much thought this whole build process needs, but I don't. It just seems to increase my excitement and sense of fun. I get a much larger dopamine hit when an item that fits my needs does actually drop. This is also how addiction set in. I embrace it and head back out following the quest chains, arrive at another Crucible Forge and, not repeating my earlier mistake, set it to a lower difficulty and womp the spawns. This area requires me to find some eggs to unlock a passage, so I do just that, and along the way I am required to clear the area of undead. Nifty detail, once I kill the last spawn the area brightens up, visually notifying me that I have vanquished evil. A quick return to town to collect my rewards, and one of them is a book of respecking. It gives me the chance to remove the points I put into my passives. And a startling realisation dawns on me. My skill tree is kind of set in stone. I can't just respec whenever I want. Every decision I have made so far is mostly permanent. Oh, goody. Guess I should have opened my book of quantum science earlier and figured things out. Guess I'm a chaos rogue to the end. I took the thought into the back of my mind and continued my journey. Earlier, when I'd washed up on the beach, the movement felt sluggish to me. But after a few rewards and the use of a dash gem, the game's speed has increased somewhat. Meaning the opening of the game allowed me time to get used to targeting and developing a flow for combat before everything started to get fast paced, which at the beginning seemed a little off-putting, but now it's a godsend, helping me get through submerged caverns and ferrying me to Prisoner's Gate, slaying things at a more acceptable pace. Once I get to Prisoner's Gate, I am prompted to head back to town where more gems await me, and I decide to bite the bullet and check out some Path of Exile builds. And sweet, merciful Christ sipping champagne on a yacht, our build's complicated at a glance. The passive tree was not for show, it was for weeding out the weak, but a quick glance at the nodes and it's all self-explanatory really. I choose a contagion build as I have already done the groundwork for the build and it's kind of locked in at this stage. Make my way through the prison complex and beat the warden and eventually find myself at a ship graveyard. By this point, I'm level 14 and decide this was a good place to leave it and collect my thoughts. But that was easier said than done. My addicted brain parasite needed more, so I popped up the stream and asked for help. A couple of useful tips later and my build has become a full chaos damage over time build, and I'm quite happy with the results to say the least. Okay then. With newfound knowledge, I plough into Act 2, which took me about 3 hours. I would assume a more competent and understanding player could do it in under an hour, but considering the campaign is 10 acts long before the plethora of endgame content kicks in, I begin to feel as if this is a €70 game. But it's free to play. I have put it off for a while, so let's see what the in-game shop has to offer. Because of course, there is one. And, wow, it's just cosmetic. No power to be seen, not even a little. I could buy extra stash tabs alright, but not power. And I can clearly play through the whole game without ever needing to open this. I'm not used to this. I can close the shop and not have a headache. After streaming, I head back to playing alone and venture into Act 2. It follows the same principles as Act 1. Do what the villagers ask and massacre as I go along. But on this occasion, I am given a choice. A rather profound one. Kill 3 bandit leaders and get some free ability points. Or side with one of them and get a permanent passive buff. All 3 leaders have separate buffs, and I can only side with one of them, which will distinctly play into how I would plan out my character's build. However, I am a simple man and I kill them all. As I continue slaughtering for anyone that asks without ever questioning why, I somehow release a great evil onto the area that the locals are none too happy about, and ask me to rectify immediately. You know, you try to help and shits your tanks. So again, doing whatever I'm asked, I go try to resave everyone. In doing so, I end up clearing out a thicket and claiming it as my own base, and in the process unlock the ability to craft. It's not so much as crafting new items, as I am augmenting what I already have. However, the materials I am using are the same materials I was using to buy things. These same said materials can also be used to upgrade or enhance items on their own. There's no gold in Path of Exile, it's a trade system, where you have to decide whether to use your upgrade items on yourself, use them to purchase things, or use them to craft. Gold is gold. It has no value other than to buy things. But because I need my currencies for so many different and substantial things, I value them a whole lot more, and it gives me a nudge of motivation to make sure I am spending them where I need to and want to most, rather than just frivolously. I climb a giant pyramid and beat the released evil and exit the pyramid to a brightly lit destroyed suburb. I get no prompt to return to the town I so valiantly saved, so I assume they are ungrateful and find new friends in a new hellscape, which sums up Path of Exile perfectly. A vastly unfriendly and ferocious world wrought with vengeance and enemies galore. A tightly packed world of mob density that amplifies the depth of your character's build so you can enjoy the rewards of your imagination, with lots of loot, which has led us to this moment. I award Path of Exile's combat and gameplay the commendation of, okay then. I award the story the commendation of kill those things and move on. And I award Path of Exile's build depth the commendation of acceptable quantum science. Thanks for watching. Like the video and comment your thoughts and experiences with Path of Exile, and subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this. And why not follow me over on Twitch, the link is in the description, so I can selfishly use your input in my next video. Take care of yourselves everyone, and keep being awesome.